Tried to scream, but my head was underwater. Thought I found a way.
Sports journalist Elena Vitsekovskaya commented on the lawsuit between the Angels of Plushenko Academy and 12-year-old figure skater Irina Parsegova. For me, the story of the $2 million lawsuit by the Plushenko Academy against the mother of 12-year-old figure skater Parsegova seems much deeper than the wording "rich, ruthless people robbed a widow with 2 children of everything." It seems to me that when parents sign such contracts, they should not only be able to read them, but also be aware that they are selling their own child. From the very beginning, they are depriving him of the choice of his own life. Perhaps I am exaggerating now, but I really thought about many things once again after talking to a very famous, and now former, figure skater the other day. Wrote Elena Vitsekovskaya. Producer Yana Rudkovskaya spoke about the legal proceedings of the Angels of Plushenko Academy. The Angels of Plushenko Academy was not suing a 12-year-old girl, but her cunning and ungrateful mother. What prevented talented Irina from studying at a private academy on a discounted subscription, as she had been doing a year before signing the contract? Nothing. And then you wouldn't have to give anything back when you decide to leave the school. Everything is clear. Thank you all, goodbye. But mom wanted a free membership, lots of training, extra classes, performance dresses from 100,000 rubles each, accommodation on the academy grounds, and the best programs of the season. No problem, the academy sponsored you and signed a contract with you. But when you decided to leave, didn't even say thank you, and 10 days before leaving you bought expensive skates at the academy's expense, then the question of principle, not money, arose. Risha, in 3 years having made a colossal leap in skill and technique, Parsegova, mother, did not thank a single coach, did not compensate the amount of damage specified in the contract. And in a banned social network she cynically wrote that she and the girl returned to the home, where they trained for a little over a year. However, she came to us with double jumps. We are not against it. We are for justice, which today has triumphed thanks to justice. By the way, 3 athletes under contract left us for other schools. All issues were resolved with all the parents of the athletes. Some skate in our shows, and we continue to work and be friends, because there was a human approach on both sides to solving the problem. But we learned our lesson. Don't do good to people, you won't get evil from them. Rudkovskaya wrote in her Telegram channel. The dispute between figure skater Irina Parsegova, or rather, her mother Natalia, and the Evgeny Plushenko Academy, is close to the end. The court has finally made a decision. What was the matter? 1. Parsegova joined Plushenko's Angels in the spring of 2020. When she was 8 years old, she left at Terry Tupbird's, but calmly and without scandals. Irina lasted 3 years with Plushenko. The results were not particularly impressive, and the skater returned to Kristalny. They say she was personally invited. And everything would be fine, but the Angels still have questions for Irina. All of Plushenko's students sign contracts with the academy. The Angels pay for the training and equipment in full. Parsegova left for Tupbird's before the end of the contract, apparently violating the agreement, and the academy demanded back all the money spent on the skater. And the amount is not small, about 2 million rubles. $25,000. It was not possible to come to a peaceful agreement, although they were looking for a compromise for almost a year, and the Angels went to court. The hearing was scheduled for July 17. 2. Irina's mother is sure that she does not owe anything, and in general, it was not the academy itself that paid for everything, but a private sponsor. In August 2021, Yana Rudkovskaya called and said that she had good news. Irina had a sponsor. This is her friend, who will pay for the cost of the subscription. All other expenses remain on us. No agreements were signed at that time. Of course, it was convenient. I thanked everyone. We agreed to these conditions. So we trained until December 2021. Rudkovskaya's friend Ekaterina Davidova spoke about her desire to sponsor Irina. The amounts increased significantly. She took on all the hassle of changing dresses during the season, and my daughter began to be examined in medical institutions. They simply sent me links to dresses or referred me to doctors. They didn't ask whether I wanted it or not. That's how our business relationship began. At that time, everything was fine with us. In fact, I didn't have to pay for anything. The price tag at the academy is quite high. One additional individual training session is 6,000–7,000 rubles per hour, $75. Later, the academy decided to introduce a system of contracts, and the lawyers sent it to us for review. They could be adjusted, but, let's say, not to the detriment of the academy. The contract was originally planned for 10 years. I replied that I couldn't enter into agreements for such a period, the child would turn 18 earlier. In the end, we agreed on 8 years. This was the best option that we agreed to. Moreover, we signed it retroactively in October, and it was dated August. The amounts that are in the claim in accordance with the acts I signed have already been paid to the Academy by the sponsor. Now we are asked to pay for the same services. No one pays twice for the same bottle of milk in this store. In addition, the acts include amounts for things given to Arena for advertising. 3. Plushenko denied everything. We are preparing an evidence base. I can only say one thing, that the Academy spent more than 100,000 rubles a month on Arisha Parsagova. There were never any personal sponsors whom they themselves brought to the Academy through connections. Mom wanted a lot of extra help for her child, the best programs and the most beautiful dresses. I would like to add that none of our coaches invite anyone to training sessions. All financial transactions are conducted officially. I would like to note that parents take in additional lessons solely at their own discretion and pay for it at the reception. There are queues for additional lessons, since we have more than 350 children training in 2 academies. Arisha's mother Natalia did not pay a penny for anything, but had the best of everything. Well, and she also demanded quadruple jumps for an 11-year-old girl, right after the girl had been ill for almost a month and was in the hospital. This is an indisputable fact. 4. The court hearing on July 17 never took place. First, it was postponed to the 30th due to the fact that Parsagova's side filed a counterclaim. Then to August 7 due to the failure of the parties to appear at the hearing. Then, on the 30th, so that the parties could gather additional evidence. And finally, today it all happened. The Nikolinsky District Court of Moscow ruled to collect 1,800,000 rubles from Parsagova's mother, in favor of the Angels of Plushenko Academy. The counterclaim was rejected. Parsagova's lawyer Yuri Yakno is currently talking about a possible appeal. Unfortunately, the court's decision is not in our favor. We will study the documents and, I think, will decide on an appeal. The appeal will be heard in another court, the city court. We understand perfectly well that this is a court decision. We will continue to fight. 5. It is worth adding that both Rudkovskaya and Plushenko himself seem to separate Arina from her mother. There are no claims against the figure skater herself. We are completely satisfied with the court's decision. We defended our positions. I believe that the court's verdict is fair. It is not a question of money. We will donate all funds received from the Parsagov family to charity. We fought to ensure that the relations between the skaters and their parents on the one hand, and the representatives of the academy on the other developed in the legal field. In addition, we must not forget about human relations, show respect to those who spend their energy, time and money on training skaters. There are no questions for Arina Parsagova, and there cannot be any. She is a very talented girl whom I love very much and treat with great respect. All questions to her mother, who, being the representative of an underage athlete, acted incorrectly, says Plushenko. But it looks funny, both are trying to emphasize that the 12-year-old girl is separate, and the mother is separate. 6. It is unlikely that this is the end. There will probably be an appeal, a new hearing. But the case has already revealed at least one problem in Russian figure skating. The athlete is forced to deal with her coaches in court, while the Russian Figure Skating Federation remains on the sidelines. Even the Parsagov's lawyer admits that this is something new for him. To be honest, this is an unusual practice for me. I have been dealing with disputes in the field of sports for quite a long time, and most often we end up with such issues in the jurisdictional bodies of sports federations, be it the RFU, KHL, or FIFA. If there were regulations, this case would have been considered there, and then, probably, in some kind of sport arbitration. But since there are none, we are in court. But the FFKR has neither regulations nor, it seems, the desire to deal with scandals. It is clear that Anigli is a private school, but we are still talking about an athlete who could get into the Russian national team. And Plushenko has many skaters. Does the FFKR really not care under what conditions the national team skaters, including potential ones, train, and how such lawsuits can affect their careers? And how do transfers from one school to another work in general? By the way, in July, Vladimir Putin ordered to strengthen the protection of athletes' rights when transferring from one organization to another, including before the end of the contract. There is talk there about amending the legislation, but still, if we don't listen now, then when? But so far, the Federation has not interfered or attempted to reconcile the parties. There are not even hints at creating regulations. They came up with a code of ethics, which no one monitors anyway, and which few people observe, and that's probably all figure it out yourselves. And this is strange, to say the least.